communities, the first thing or the first person that will know about whatever it is that has taken place in your life is somebody you call a sister. We meet them at work, we meet them in church, we meet them in the train. I used to travel by train. Before, it was a church, a market, a gossip place where you unpack generations, Muvango, et al. And you meet them at hair salons. But where women gather, we've been offering each other what now the English call it psychosocial support. You know, and sometimes when even women talk about abuse, you think as if they are talking about jokes. It's like, yeah, mine did this, oh, but mine did that. As if they are talking about something that is pleasurable. But at the face of it is the fact that women have been able to stand in the gap. They have been able to support each other. They have been able to be a system to each other when systems fail them. And it gives me great honor and pleasure that today it's become a program. What I'm saying is, it's not a new thing. What women do for each other was not was not initiated by the program, but the program gave it form of what women do all the time. So all of you here really represent the village that support people. And what is important about this village, and I think Chiesa said it earlier on in our other session, is that over and above knowing the how or the what of this is what you do, this is what you do. Firstly, when you talk to sisters like you feel believed, because some of the abuse that we face as women doesn't start, even if this time they kicked you in the ribs and your ribs are broken, it did not start there. It's very emotional. It may even start with it making you not even believe that what you are experiencing is abuse. So the first support that is important is that support that makes a woman who probably is ashamed by what happened to them to say, I can tell somebody and they believe me. And you will know when you work in the sector that a lot of women will say, even going to report the case is re-traumatizing. Meaning that not only is what happened in this moment of now traumatic, having to relive it is trauma. So for somebody to have another one, a sister, who will listen to you without judgment, without asking you what was the length of your skirt, had you drunk something, had you kissed them before. If somebody listens to you, that's fine. But you are also talking about an advocate, somebody who will say, this journey going forward of trying to get justice for yourself, you are not going to walk alone. So all I'm saying is recognize the importance of the work that you do in the lives of people and in the context that Nkateko reminded us of in her poetry of a country that was so traumatized by apartheid but has the weakest mental health facilities. The mental health problems and challenges that somebody who themselves are trying to make sense of what happened to them but are navigating a foreign system. So I am trying to pick up and recognize the important work that you do as psychologists in some instances, as people who hold others, as spiritual healers in some instances, just being with somebody. Just be present with somebody next to them. You may not be able to solve their case. If their docket is missing, you may not be able to find that docket on their behalf. But the fact that you were there gave them some hope. And so I think it is more than important that partners and organizations like Hlanganisa celebrate you and award you and actually say, we see you, we see what you do. Particularly because for us as women, especially black women, we are wounded healers. There are many of us who are encountering these very women who we have to support, who trigger our own wounds. sometimes our own abuse that we have not spoken about, but we step in nonetheless, and then we help them. So I just want to congratulate first and foremost Hlanganisa without any bias. I think Hlanganisa is really stepping into the gap of recognizing work that I believe is very important, and that is work that is happening on the ground. And I would like to invite all of you to give Hlanganisa a round of applause for the work that it does in this field. It's very important. But I really, really want to say it is a real privilege to be standing here amongst you. It is a real privilege knowing that all of you are dedicating your time. And I don't think there can be enough money to pay you for the work that you do, because you are really repairing the social fabric in the country. And I just want you to remember this. When you see statistics that basically say that the numbers are rising, ask yourself one question. When others analyze those numbers and they say, oh, are these efforts working? Look at the numbers that are going up. Ask them, how high would they be if we were not there? How high would they be if they were not there? So you are swimming against the tide, you are doing impossible work, you wake up every day to do it. And I think we owe you, a lot of gratitude that one cannot quantify. So celebrate yourself. Walk like a peacock today when you walk and you say, me, I'm an Awrds. I do important work in this country. Where people say, hey, don't look at me like that. Do you know who I am? That's how you must walk out. Because, and I say that because as women, we are humble. You say to a woman, you look pretty. Oh no, but this one is second-hand. No. Today, walk like a peacock and say, oh, you know who I am. I was in the awards. I've got an award. Because we need to also take that time to celebrate who we are. Once again, please give yourselves a round of applause for the amazing work you're doing. And thank you very much. And I must apologize, I can't stay until the end, but I really will be cheering for you. And I wait with my other colleagues on the board to hear of the continuous great work that you are doing in partnership with Hlanganisa. Thank you.
Thanks, Lebo, for that opening address. Very exciting when you have support of your board, because it's also got an engagement just at 3 o'clock, just to come in and share the stage with us.
Thank you, Program Director. Bongi, to the Chair and Board of Hlanganisa, to each and every one of the sisterhood advocates and the excellent, I think, administrators within Hlanganisa, Tracy. It's a pleasure to be here and to be speaking a few words to you this afternoon. The program of the Social Employment Fund is it's a fund which is a new fund. It was kicked off about a year back in an effort to try and help civil society and organizations look at ways of solving issues in their own communities. So without having to rely on too much help from the outside, how can we start looking at solving issues using our own means, doing this within our own communities. After then directing traffic afterwards, and I went to him and said, so what's happening now? Talk to me. Oh, what are you doing? And he said, look, it's not just about the money. In a day like this, when a couple of cars drive past and I feel like I'm doing something worthwhile, I feel like a good human. So I think we've been trying to do this in the fund, and one of the best examples of this has been, in Hlanganisa, an organization which has solved issues and which has given meaningful work to people on the ground. So, I think it's a tremendous amount of pride that we want to be associated with an institute like you, and that we've seen, the work that comes out from here is absolutely fantastic. Maybe just two final points is that the previous speaker spoke about statistics, and sometimes statistics can be misleading and whatnot. But I think one of the absolutely amazing statistics that's come out from this work program that you've managed and you've led is that in the time that you've been working with the IDC and the Social Employment Fund, the number of cases, the number of women you've been able to assist and whatnot has increased 10 times. That's our understanding of that now. That doesn't mean the problem of gender-based violence is being solved, but at least 10 times more people are getting assistance and getting aid, which for us is incredible. I think just the second thing, and it's just to the actual administrative team led by Bongi at Hlanganisa, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I can't emphasize that enough. So I'm sure we'll be having more conversations and more discussions and more collaboration going forward. But thank you for all the work, and thank you for inviting me to this.
Thanks so much, Bavanesh, for your kind words, collaborations with IDC and other organs of state to ensure that social employment programs, in fact, in each and every department, is one of the mandates, at least of each and every department, to actually deliver on, because we know the impact that social employment is actually having. Interestingly, so one of the projects that we undertook is to conduct a process evaluation report. And it was actually interesting to hear and to learn, on what some of the items that the sisters actually spending their money on. There was one anecdote. One of the sisters, I can't remember where, but she was sharing just, the value and the meaning as a young woman to be able to buy your own lipstick, to make yourself beautiful, and not to be relying on somebody else to give you the money to buy the lipstick. It might sound like a cheesy thing, but it's actually such a very important thing, because you know just how, the number of women who are actually, staying in abusive relationships as a means of survival. So for me, it was just one of those, like, oh wow, this is such a powerful, and forget the beds, microwaves, to be able to buy yourself a lipstick and to look beautiful just for yourself. Such an amazing and powerful thing. Thank you so much, Bavanesh. I'd like to call upon Bongiwe, to come and give us an overview of the Sisterhood Advocate project, so that we really understand, how it was conceptualized. When I joined Hlanganisa, the project was already in motion, so I just call it the tail end of it. The train was already moving, it was the start. So I know that all the problems are already solved. I just came to right at the perfect time. Over to you, Bongi. Sorry about it.
Good afternoon, colleagues. You look amazing. I'm just going to share with you, and very briefly, the story of the Sisterhood Advocates project. So we've been doing, in line with our Access to Justice work, we've been doing work around violence prevention, especially gender-based violence. And for a long time, we were encouraging women to go and report any form of abuse that they experience. And it seemed like such a natural thing, You are abused, you get beaten, you go and report. You go to the police station and you go and report. And what we didn't realize and what we learned, we kept saying, but women don't go and report. Women go and report and they withdraw cases, and it was not making sense to us. Until in having conversations with the women that we work with and the women who support survivors of violence, until they say to us, we don't want our partners in jail. That's not a desirable outcome. We just want them to stop beating us up. That's all we want. Yeah? And I think for us, we realized that we needed to frame the conversation differently. It was clear to us that what we had been preaching, what is mainstream, is that there's a police station, you are beaten, you go to the police station. But women were telling us that's not the outcome that we want. So we started engaging more intentionally and trying to understand what some of the issues were. And women said, we still love our partners, we just want them to stop beating us. Others said, if he goes to jail, what happens to my children? Because once you take a decision to go and report your partner for abuse at a police station, there's a line that has been crossed and you can't go back. And that line could mean that it is the end of the relationship, or at least a functional relationship. So we started challenging ourselves with what it could look like, because we wanted to continue supporting and helping women. And one of the things that we learned was that women also don't go to the police station because the police stations are violent, you know. Women experience secondary victimization in the police stations, at the police stations. First of all, the police station is very patriarchal. Our police service, I sometimes think of it as a police force actually. Our police service is very male dominated. And so when you go there and you've been violated, the first question they want to ask is, what had you done? They want to ask ukuthi nishadile or niyahlalisana, as if it makes a difference in the context of being violated. They want to say to you, go and talk this over. Akunamuntu in the family who can help you resolve this. Yeah? And women were saying, we feel judged. They ask you, is that how you were dressed? Or what had you said to him? And so we said, those are some of the reasons women don't go and report at the police station. So where do they go? And women said, our first point of call is normally extended family. You have a problem with your partner, you talk to his mother, his aunts, your sisters, etc., etc. And in that, we realize that women are saying, we already have a support structure. And so we're interested in knowing what advice do you get from that support structure. So when you go to Mama Mfundis, you know, because you have a problem of domestic violence, what does she offer you? And so we say that's where we need to intervene. We need to train ordinary women to give them skills in paralegalism, so that when you can choose to go to the police station, but if you choose to go to your pastor must be able to also give you the advice as per the law. Yeah? Your pastor must not just say, you know, this is what is available to you, you know, let's pray about it. But they must also say, if you do want, you can go and open a case. If you want, we can take it forward. And so we felt that let's intervene at the level that women are getting these services. And as Lebo said, women say to us, you go to court, the courts are very intimidating. Who has been in a court? Just the building. I don't know why they built courts to look like that. Yeah, those long corridors, you know, and you're looking for a court clerk who's going to tell you which courtroom your case is in. That can be quite intimidating. So we also said women need someone to help them walk through and navigate this justice system. Women need someone who is going to encourage them. Remember, if you are raped, or whether it's an intimate partner or somebody you don't know, if you are raped, you need to go to the police station now and open it. And if you're going to open a case, they will take a statement now. Ne? But the perpetrator does not have to make a statement now. They will only make a statement when they are ready to make a statement, which means they can get a lawyer who can advise them before they even make their statement. Which means by the time they make their statement, they have thought it through and have structured it in such a way that your statement becomes lacks credibility. So we were saying we want to train women and give them skills, specifically in the Domestic Violence Act and the Sexual Offences Act, because those are the key acts that govern sexual violence in this country. We want to train them, and we want to train women who are already working with other women in their communities. In fact, in the beginning we said we want to train women who themselves have experienced violence. Because what better person than a person who knows exactly what you're talking about to be able to assist you. So we train these women, and these women are in 4 provinces. Like Bongani said, we now have in excess of 3,000 people women that we have trained, and we call them sisterhood advocates. Sisterhood because these, like they will say, these are the sisters we've been going to in our communities. Yeah? Advocates because they are lawyers now, ne? Or are they? Advocates because they are advocating for our rights, ne? And they are supporting us and advocating for our dignity. So it's called the Sisterhood Advocates Project. And we say we want to train these women in the key areas around our law, and we want them to offer the service not just in the community advice offices through which they were recruited. We want to place them in communities. Because violence doesn't wait to happen when the police station is open. Ne? Violence happens in the middle of the night, where women cannot, where there are no taxis running for you to catch a taxi to the police station. So who do you go to? Who do you turn to? So we train women in their communities. We station some of them in clinics, some of them in hospitals, some of them in police stations, some of them in the local courts, some of them were already in the churches, so in the community structures that existed, some of them in schools, and we placed them there and said, if anybody has a problem, yeah, before you go to the police station, and it doesn't mean you will not go to the police station, before you go to the police station, here is someone who's closest to you, who might even accompany you to that police station, who will walk with you, you know, throughout the process. Some of these cases take over years before they are, before a conviction is secured. And during that time, the court process is also very violent. Our justice system in courts is very adversarial. It's not just inquisitorial where they are asking questions for purposes of getting more information. They ask questions for purposes of determining your credibility, for purposes of discrediting you, so that this case can be watered down. So these women are working with other women through the court system, through the police system, through the court system, through the community, because once you've been violated, there is stigma. There's a lot of social stigma. Often women tell us, we didn't go to report because what will the community say? I had a personal experience where my helper, coming from a weekend off on a Sunday, was raped just outside, you know, the premises as she arrived. And she was a live-in helper, and so we tried to support her. And when I first asked her, I said, so, you know, after we'd gone through the whole hospital process, you know, gone to the police station, opened the gate, goes to the hospital for the examination and all of that. And when we got home in the early hours of the morning, because this happened in the evening, and it took us the whole night to navigate the system. When we got home in the early hours of the morning, I said to her, you can go home, you can take time off, you don't have to be here. And she said to me, if I go home, I'll have to tell my family what happened. I said, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, I thought she might have already informed them. And she said, no. There's a lot of stigma associated with being raped. I cannot afford for my husband to know that I was raped, because that will ruin our relationship. So I then offered her to bring her sister to come and stay with her at the house, because I just felt we couldn't leave her home alone, you know, after this had happened. And she said, not even my sister should know about my ordeal. So I think there's still a lot of stigma associated with being violated. Women sit in abusive relationships not because they want to, but because they are afraid of what the neighbors will say, what our families will say, what, you know, our workmates will say. And so again, these sisterhood advocates are helping women with providing psychosocial support, providing, support through very difficult and emotionally challenging situations. So it's a pity that BAMF has just stepped out. When we conceptualized the project, we didn't have any funding for it. We didn't have any funding for it, but we believed in the concept. And so when the IDC came and said, we are looking for projects that could generate employment, but also provide social good, we said this is the project for us. We said this is the project for us because we were clear that these are people who will be providing a service, a critical service to our communities, and the IDC was prepared to pay for them. So that's how we became part of the Social Employment Fund. And like I said, today we've trained over 3,000 women. We currently have on our books 2,700. And you will ask what happened to the 300. Like in every project, there's attrition. But a lot of the attrition we've had has been good attrition. Because some of those women are now employed within the Department of Justice. I know that there was a colleague from the Department of Justice. I don't see him anymore. I wish he was here. But some of those women have actually been absorbed. You know, we've had interest from, you know, government departments to provide further training to these women. You know, we've had the Department of Labor come and say, we would like to teach them in labor rights, yeah, labor law, yeah. We've had DSD come in and say, we also want to work with these people. This morning I was speaking to the gentleman from the Department of Justice and he said, we want to partner you. We want to expand this program. We want you to employ more women who are helping other women in the community. And for us, partnerships with government is what will make this project sustainable. Because the Social Employment Fund will come and go. The people who give us money, our back-end funders or donors as we call them, will come and go. But if government sees value in this and takes it forward and runs with it, it will be integrated as one of our government-funded projects. And if it is funded through the fiscus, it will be much better for us to sustain it. Then we don't have to rely on developing funding proposals to various funders, which I'm sure all of you know is very challenging. So I want to say to you today, having come, this far, we felt that we need to recognize the work that you're doing. We felt that, as Chiesa said and as Lebu said before she left, we see you. We see you. And we value the work that you're doing. And we've had a lot of opportunities for feedback where you've told us about the work that you're doing and the challenges that you're facing. We are not blind to those challenges. Prof. Pikana reminded us that in this country, police stations are guarded by private security firms. Yeah? Police stations. Now, who is guarding the woman who is trying to protect somebody's wife, and that somebody is by the gate and saying, Magapum and go. I want her out now because I want to talk to her. Who is guarding those women? When their safety is threatened, and what are we going to do about it? Yeah? So we don't have all the answers. We are hoping that as we walk this journey with you, we will co-create a model that we will, scale up and amplify so that we can increase our reach and increase our impact. So we see the work that you're doing, we recognize it, and we are very appreciative of the work that you've been doing. And I want to thank the Community Advice Office management teams who are represented here in their numbers. We want to thank you for hosting this project because, again, we are a community fund. We're not an implementing organization. So we rely on you as the implementers on the ground. So I want to thank you for nesting this project and adopting it as one of your many projects that allows you to have more hands and feet in the communities that you serve. And I also want to appreciate all the administrative excellence you've helped us deal with. You heard Bavanesh talk about my team and the administrative excellence in my team. We could not do it without you. It is those timesheets that you submit on time that enable us to submit a payment file to the IDC on time, that enables the IDC to pay us. So thank you very much, colleagues. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the award ceremony. And once again, congratulations. And I would have liked to thank my board chair, who has also become a sister to me. and a sister to us as an organization, because she's not just, the kind of board chair who is overseeing, but she's also an activist in the trenches and understands the complexity of the work that we are doing. So Lebo in absentia, I do want to thank her. Thank you very much, colleagues, and have a good evening.
For everybody. So on that exciting note, I'd like to call upon Auslerato Moeng to come and talk to us about a perspective of the community. Not only this project, but general, access to justice.
I'm sure everyone is looking at me and thinking that today how is she going to start? And in the usual way, no matter how everyone started, in the usual way, that's how I'm going to start. I'm going there, nobody can stop me. I'm going there, don't you want to go to? I'm going there, nobody can stop me. I'm on my way, I'm going there. I'm going there, nobody can stop me. I'm going there, don't you want to go to? As community advice officers, as paralegals in our community advice offices, I'm going to share a bit of what we do on a daily basis as paralegals, be it men and women in every corner where we are. And I think in the morning, some of the speakers, they shared in depth what we do on a day-to-day, on our daily basis in our offices as paralegals. I want only, though even in the project Sisterhood, it won't only talking about the paralegals, the women that are paralegals in those offices. The men that are paralegals in those offices but have been assisted with the cases and even the follow-up and everything of the cases of the sisterhood that they identify in the communities where they are staying. So the work that we do of assisting the communities to access. Most of the time, people are used to hearing us saying we assist the community to access the justice. And then, even I remember when we arrived, that's what we were saying, just introducing ourselves, and that's it. So part of that is, on daily basis, we assist the community members to access the services in the community. The services that are meant for the community members, that are there in the communities, but the question mark is which are not accessible to our community members. So on a daily basis, it's part of what we do, that we write the referrals on each and every day, that we refer people to different departments to get the services that they are entitled to, but they are not getting that services. And the other issue is, especially when Sisterhood started, I think most of the paralegals, especially the ones that were trained on mediation, every week they have an appointment if they're in the office to mediate. It's either between the partners, it's either between the family members. I think we talked about the issue I think it was more yesterday, the issue of children being left alone. Having so many child and youth-headed households in our communities, then you find that some of the issues that those families are facing in their day-to-day life, it pushes us as paralegals on our day-to-day work to mediate between the families of those children. Because there are challenges that they are facing. You find that even though we would refer those cases to the lawyers that we are partnering with, to the law clinics that we are partnering with, but you find that the situation that those families are living in, sometimes you have to start with the mediation immediately. And then you can start then referring the case to whoever that can assist the children. I think some of our panelists, they even talked about the issue of the estate for the families in the communities. So those are the cases that comes to our offices. But before, because somebody, if he hears us talking about that, we just think that if we say it's an estate case, we just write a report and then send it to whoever that we are referring the case to. Before we do that referral, there's a lot that needs to happen in the community advice office that is done by the paralegal to gather even all the information, the papers that would assist this family to be able to get justice, to get what belongs to them. So that's what we do day to day in the offices as the paralegals. And from the different cases that has been identified by the sisterhoods, I think you will agree with me, all the community advice officers, that that's the truth, that we used to have the cases that comes to our offices even before the program. But the numbers were not like now.
Yes.
And even the type of cases that were coming to our offices were not like the cases that we are getting now.
Yes.
And one of the benefits that I think as community advice officers that we benefited from this program is the community now knows what we do. When you compare to before, when we were doing this work, now the people, they know the corners where we are, and they understand at least that though there are still so many in the communities, when you say paralegal, most of the officers in different provinces, you would find that when they go to our offices, they say we are going to the office and social workers. The reason being, the cases that comes to our offices, you would find that this one, purely, it was supposed to go directly to the Department of Social Development, to the social worker. But because as community advice officers, we are very close to the community members. We have built that relationship, the sisterhood relationship with our community members. For example, you would find that somebody in Tabanchu knows where is Home Affairs. But instead of going to Home Affairs directly to ask for what he needs to be assisted on, would start at the community advice office. Or I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Home Affairs. But the challenge is, I've been to Home Affairs since 2016. But I've been taken to pillar to post. So having the sisterhood in place as a paralegal, you would take your papers, you would state what is happening with the community member that needs to be assisted, and then you do your referral, you give it to the sisterhood advocate. And the sisterhood advocate will go to the department with a clear statement of how is this person needs to be assisted on. And as a paralegal, as we know our responsibilities, we know that we have to do the follow-up on each and every case that we have referred to different departments. I think I've really tried my level best to explain the work that we do as paralegals day to day in the offices where we are working. And the other work that we continue to do, that we are still going to continue to do, is to come closer to our community members, to explain, to try and then sit down with them, to give them the understanding in a simple terms in their language, to understand their rights, even their responsibilities. Some of the people, they would ask you or they would challenge you, because those are the challenges that we sometimes meet when we are in the field. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then somebody just ask you, but why a certain department is not doing that? Because they are getting paid to do the job. So one thing for sure, our communities, they trust us. They trust our offices. Hence, you would see them, as I've highlighted, even when somebody has to go to the clinic, directly to the clinic, they would come to the community advice office, talk to the paralegal, tell the paralegal that I know that I have to go to the clinic for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I had a challenge, so I'm even afraid to go back to the clinic. But this is a need that I have. So that's, I think, how far the community is really having the trust, relying on us as community advice officers. And I think in the morning and even this afternoon, there are some people who talked about the intersectionality of, especially of the work that we do as community advice officers. Some would think that we only do, if there's a case, we would refer the cases, we would go and then inquire this and then give people advices. That is not only what we do as community advice officers. On our day-to-day, as busy as our schedule are, what we do, you would even have time to plan ahead for these survivors that would be coming to the office for tomorrow, to see that those people at least they become involved in some of the project, in some of the work that would give them income, that they would never ever be in the same situation depending on somebody. So it's one of the work that we do in our community advice office. We have the project that we say in this project we are empowering the women to be able to stand on their own. One of the activities that we have, I think I'll make an example. At our office, we had one project, or we have one project, that the women that are survivors of gender-based violence, we make sure that we sit down with each and every individual and then check what skill does this person already has, or what skill would this person wish to have so that he can be able to be employable to the world, or to do something for yourself that will give the income. So we partnered with people, with other organizations, because on our own we cannot really do it. So we partnered with the other organizations. For example, we took few women to take the driver's license. We communicated, had the meeting with the taxi association locally, that can they please, after this women completed their driver's license lessons and have their driver's license, give us the assurance that they will give them work. In that way, at least we are definitely sure that whatever that you are going to use to train these women, we are definitely sure after the training, after their driver's lessons, they have work to do. They will be employed and to just get even the experience, and then after that experience, they can keep on elevating themselves up, because that is the aim that we are building towards. And the other project that we are really doing, and I strongly always feel like if money was really available, it's something that can be done in each and every community advice office. At least twice a year, what we do, we have a day where we gather. Every survivor that came to our office would come to a hall like this. Everyone comes beautiful as we are today. And we have lunch. And then we start early in the morning. And then we want somebody that will sponsor our breakfast, and then someone would sponsor the lunch. And then on that day, there is nothing much that we do. The only thing that we do is, as women, we would sit down. Bear in mind that the women that are in there, it's the women that has been betrayed. It's the women that has been abused. It's the women who have been hurt. A woman that has been rejected. No matter the qualification or whatever on that day. So we would have 5 women that would come up front and then share their experience of their life, what happened. And then after that, we open it for the floor. Anyone that feels like wants to share with the other women in the room can share. But on that day, we make sure on our program, we must have a group of men that would be present in that room. Even on the program, we make sure that we have men that would be with us in that room. The thing is, by doing that, we really want to promote the thing of, as women, really we can rely on other women. The topic that we talk about is, I've been waiting to hear the other sister to tell me the story. So that's what we say for the whole day. And then after that, for sure we would look for the response from most of the men in the room. But we don't choose them. We say the one that feels like there is something that can talk to us can do that. The reason that we saw that there was a need for that is most of us in this work that we do, not only the gender-based violence work, but you would find that there are men that are helping, that are supporting, that are doing this work. But most of the time, you would find that we keep on pointing fingers. And when we talk, we always say the communities. So the language that we talk on that day is we talk to myself. Even the man that is in that room, you talk to yourself. When we say we are sitting with the rejected somebody, hurt, abused, and all those, we say every man that is in this house, let us today don't look forward to somebody else, let us look to myself. Is there any contribution that I've done? In the community, or in the family, or in wherever space where I am, we talk to the man that is in the room. Because we strongly feel that bit by bit, if the men within our spaces maybe can change, then it will be more easier to be able to even talk to the next man from that event. So it's one of the of the projects that we do, that we hold twice a year, the first quarter and the last quarter of every year. We have that event at our site. And in order for us to do this work as community advice officers, in order for us to do this work in the community advice offices, I think somebody would say and understand that as community advice officers, we need to be capacitated. The staff that works in the community advice offices need to be capacitated and needs to be supported in order to take this job further for the community, for the benefit of the community. So I think thus far, especially I think in the Free State, for a longer period, we are thankful that we have Hlanganisa'S that has been supporting our officers in the province. That's what it's part of what we need, the workshop that is going to be provided by the university in Bloemfontein. So they are always there to support us. The transport for those officers was paid to be able to attend the workshop. That benefited our office very well. And I think the other thing is the funding itself. There are some of the projects or some of the programs that you find that Hlanganisa has, and they would always send the call for proposals to our offices. And then we would apply, and then you would find that some of the calls, it's a bigger call more than what we are getting sometimes from them. And then you find that the project at least is going to take a bit or a longer period that the office would benefit, the staff they would benefit, maybe they would work for a 2-year period. They know that they have the project, that they at least their rent and everything is secured. They know that they can continue to the fundraising for the office to keep the office open and keep the office going. So in that note, I think I'm going to say to us, the paralegals and the sisterhood, though the climate, we know, still strongly believe, and I still say, paralegals, let us aggressively continue having that radical love for our communities, no matter the situation. Thank you.
What? Witchcraft dispute resolution, if there's something of that nature. You know, when somebody has been raped, you've got the clinical arm which, you know, they have to be taken for post-exposure prophylaxis. including emergency contraception. Once that is done, then the legal process starts. So it's a lot of issues that the different offices are dealing with. And yes, at the heart of it, I like what you say, that sometimes it's not even about the stipend, but it's about keeping the office open so that the services we continue to provide them. So thank you for that. As I'm sitting down, there's a song. In fact, when we had a training.
When he has beaten you beyond recognition again, and fled the city again, then they will come. They will come with baked goodies in Tupperware containers and many smiles. They will bring smiles in different stages of maturation. Some the unsure lip curve, the infamous sympathy palsy smile that is accompanied by a hand on your shoulder. Smiles that you still have in your photo album from the girls' getaway at the coast. They will come with questions. How are you holding up? I can't lift my head, you'll say. I miss him. I burnt a hole in my skin to accommodate him, and he took everything and left. They will come with solutions. They will tell you that you may look back at the flames, and what once looked like ceremonial bonfire now resembles Dante's Inferno. They will tell you that you may look back at the flood, and what once looked like baptism now resembles drowning. They will tell you that you must now look forward and count yourself. 1. 1. 1. Look forward and count yourself lucky for the escape. Marvel at how far you have come. Marvel at where you are now. Alive, complete, a trinity of hope, beauty, and redemption. They will tell you that if at love's bitter, bitter end, you still have yourself, darling, you have lost nothing. One day, what tried to kill you and failed will return. And before you burn another hole in your skin to accommodate the lies, before you burn another hole in your skin to accommodate the excuses, before you burn another hole in your skin to accommodate the apologies, you must remember the friends who fed you. You must remember the friends who prayed with you. You must remember the friends who cried with you. You must remember the friends who told you that the offering basket is not your house. The offering basket is not a chair. The offering basket is not a friend. Where you have gone to give of yourself over and over again until you had nothing, is not a place to go back to and rest your bones. Darling, your burnt offerings were enough. There is no need for you to jump in the fire now.
Very thought-provoking, eh? There is no need to prove your worth to anyone else. So the next 3 people that I'm going to call, they're going to be sharing their experience in implementing the Sisters Advocate project. And And please, I'm gonna give you 2 to 3 minutes maximum. Maximum. I'd like to first start with Aussie. Please come and share your experience, and it should be followed by Itumeleng, and lastly by Matilda, in that order. Thank you.
Okay. Experience e leng hore bona re le Mafube Victim Support Center phile ra kopana le yona ka this program ya sisterhood advocate. It was not easy. Ntse re kopana le challenge there and there, but isn't it gare. In regarding the recruitment process, o tlo recruiter basadi ba dutseng khone mane ba leng hore ba lositse the hope of life. Ese sa tsebe hore tlamehile ba etse jwang. Nako e nngwe ha o tlo banka o ba beya basadi ba bang ba ba kgoba. E le taba e le tje, e le sefebe e le tje, they label them. Ke basadi ba bang ba wa kang basadi ba bang. As if they are perfect. Ko ofi musadi a tla yena ha ko perfect. There's no one. And o keke wa tseba hore musadi o mo o tina aba situation se hobane who are you to judge? And make a point of basadi ba ke banka ho sa kgathaletse hore maemo kwa afi a bophelo ba bona ka banka ka ba trainer on the training process ba iphumana basadi ba iphumana bona bane be lentse ba ba khoba ha Kenya community ya bua re batla ho bona hore ba tla fella ka hobane nkile matawa nkile bo madikareti nkile difebe nkile eng ke basadi ba ba ka basadi ba ba ntse ba le teng le hona tshi they prove a point ya hore re tlo sebetsa re tlo ba bontsha re tlo fetola maphelo a rona and they did. Basadi ke batla ho bua ka bomme on the process ya ho tlo fumana rona as officer rona re na le office police station from 2006 till now. Re render a service tsa rona tsa gender based violence 24 hours. Mo e leng hore mosadi halla maponesa a re founela on standby ho tlo ho na le victim of rape of gender based violence. We are there. Maponesa ke bona ba ripa di victims. Ha ke tlo ipata on a reality. O mongwe wa bona o ile a tena a ipolaya e le diponesa e ne le tshwena ya yena ha victim fika e tla be e le di-focus a etsa whatever a etsa till the end of the sola muso le telele music wa like sebenza ha wa fitla a ipolaya. The process alone the victim why it's not easy. Ufika ka police station a hikifetsuwe le bona ba mo hikifetse. We have to get the victim o mo hlalosetsa ka the process a tlamehile a itsamaya. But that perpetrator has made the process that this victim a itsamaya. He has to allow for like a statement. He has to hire medically for medical assessment. He has to allow Khalosa. Court, what happened? And this perpetrator, only a hand high. I can make put the victim one in one. Where is the victim gonna go? After the justice, it hit. A perpetrator at the sentence. They say, justice has been done. Oma, because what am I? That's why we are to go. How fihla yena ka toronkong o thole diphokelo tsa di tholang ka ga thonko and o na le right ya o thola whatever bagola o na le shelter o ka di mahae o ya sha ba hlokomela the perpetrator o feta the victim ha qeta ho thwe justice o etsahetse o tshwere o sala ka the victim. It's a process of healing as a victim. And the whole knowledge for a victim who are healing. Here I did. Many of them, into the cases saying that domestic violence in a sense, our heart, so we put our car. How is what the laws are in? Why can't we make the programs say benefit and the victims? Self-help project for the victims. Because there is no one accommodating these victims. Ha ke shejwa batswadi ke rata ho leboha Hlanganisa. All the colleagues sa Hlanganisa, the team ya Hlanganisa, to come with this project. You have made a huge impact ka the community tsa rona. Now as the organization, we are more recognized than before. For me, I wish this project is going to stop. Hobani basadi baba ba khona ho beha papa tafleng. Mosadi wa mong o khona ho irekela pets. For me, ke re Hlanganisa ke a leboha. And the ka like this project, khale re batla site Mafube. Re sa ifumane re ngola mangolo on municipality ba sa lefe. But itse ha ba bona basadi ba 86 ba bokana. Ba re ke bo mamba. Mafube ba file a site. Certainly our own site. How many think at this project? Nke ba sa ithola. Go ba le dilemo ke batla a site. Ke sa batho re depende ba poliseng. Now we na site. Zozo ne ya bona go Hlanganisa nne. Go e hloba site ya bona. Ka ngola mangolo go isa di ka toropong ka mona go di open supermarket. The owner of Spa ulo kampela la that site. Yes. And there is a huge site. Get 3 sites. Get 3 sites. So you can imagine how it will look at. Ka o shojwalo mmetsheta ntate bongani ka o fela mme ke re ke a leboha. Le ha le mamello. The staff sa Hlanganisa le bile le mamello. Bana ba o tshwara di phone mona re le omanya mo. Re bua ka mo re batlang ka teng. Bana ba yetsa. Pepi. Somebody go back tshwarelo. The office for the office ka ofela. Tshwarelo. Ba ile ra tsama teng ntse re hatana di concepts. Tshwarelo that.
Tshwarelo tate bonga. Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank God for making this day to happen. Yes. Yeah, I can read it. So now, today is it's a high time that we someone sees what we are doing, someone sees our effort. And it's high time that we see that someone who appreciates us. And we say, thanks God. I just want to say something. Once a businessman said, if you want to have a successful business, just take care of the workers, let alone the customers. The very same workers are going to take care of the customers. So in that note, I just want to say, I just want to express my feelings on the system. Let alone the community. We have to clean in our house before we can go out. So, Mr. Gongan, you were right when you say they can now able to buy their lipstick. It's true. They can now take themselves to the sun. It's true. That's where I realized that everyone in the township or in the community, he or she is a victim. That's what came to my mind. So I just want to say thanks to Hlanganisa. And then I've just written something down here for the very same Hlanganisa. Teetering on the edge of extinction and anxiety is on the rise. It is increasingly important to spend time expressing gratitude. Focusing on gratitude can negate feelings of resentment and foster feelings of positive. In short, I would like to thank Hlanganisa for this initiative. It's not like it's over, but it's a turnaround. It was a beginning of community turnaround strategy. And then I want to express my personal gratitude for the effort and extra time you have contributed. I sincerely appreciate your flexibility, willingness to give time and service. It is greatly appreciated. Your support allows us to continue to fulfill our mission and serve people in our community each year. Thank you for your confidence and support. This is a teamwork. It shows together we can bring a change to our community. And I thank you.
So that's where
it happens for a reason. hore ke a tsamaya ka re la mpona project ya fella bollae le ipeng hantle ha ke tsebe bona ya kae project ke tseba e fella ka July ho tla ba le sister ho N1 e leng ya ha ba tla meeting the last day last week ba tla le account ya ha re qeta ho bua tse ba nke di bua la sisters ke kopana na bile a re ka light enana ke kgantsetsa Hlanganisa a re Hlanganisa ke kopela mo however mo ba tholang tjhelete teng ba re patale project e tswelle nna project ena e nka bana ka tafoleng papa I'm surviving because of this project and ke hopola ke le ka thata ngwana ba yo lokela mona na sister Buti o no shota mthai bana a tla tla mosebetsi a tswa ya gona ke o ila ra tsela ke rapella bongane ke rapella phisi ke re wa ga tsela go re dula re kwa ka bana we always talk about phisi this bongane this Hlanganisa this. It's like it's true of you, Hlanganisa. Always pray a lot to you. I said, no, Bongani is my boss. It's not your boss. That is why I always call this is the boss. Okay, let's talk about in the beginning when we started the project. It was not easy. It was not easy for everyone, even Hlanganisa. We're only making calls. Percy. The people are here complaining about their man because he doesn't know what should do. Hey people, but I get it at Twitter. But how is it after I was made several people, my matrix, I was at work. I said to them, I tell you, I don't that day. Have a fish, I wouldn't. You have what to do. Don't catch it, how no one ever creation. He expected a salary higher again, I'll come patch it down. This sisterhood, we name back at the nerves. What did woman? To train people, as I was saying, from the street, they are abused, these people, they are angry inside. They are victims, they are also perpetrators. We took them like that because there's no one who's perfect. If we were looking for perfect people, we were not going to have people. We trained them, we helped them to heal inside. Another lady after the training, she was looking at me quietly. And then I said, what is the problem? I was much like a party. Then what is it? And after the training, I realized what I'm hitting. And I'll be fine. It was the touching story from some of them, and others, they realized we are perpetrators. Another lady, she was telling me, do you know actually I bended the clothes of my husband? Why? And I was angry. But after this training, I realized I was wrong. Their salaries. Another lady said to me, Matilda, whether I get 700 rand or 1.3, no one would give me 700 rand. That 700 rand is buying me electricity, my love. The children are managing to go to school with full stomach. It helps a lot. That 1,300 rand that they are receiving is better than nothing. Last time I was sending the new not the new contract where they realized the payments are a bit up.
Yeah.
They were so happy. They were so happy. Thousands of men came to our office. They were so happy. That project it helps a lot. In my organization, they have stock fairs in the groups. You know the name of the stock fair? It's Hlanganisa'S stock fair. It's the stock fair of the people who are waiting for Hlanganisa'S. They are waiting for Hlanganisa'S. And I would like to thank Mafusi, I went together with her, and some of the sisters from Tuatua, because we're coming from Amitepopo, were calling each other always, here's the problem, what should I do? Here's the problem, because we're not taking every small things to Bongan. Bongan is having many things to do, as we need to help each other. The thing that we bring to Bongan, we know is difficult. We don't know what to do. And in our place, there's politics problem. When we were starting this project, it was like, which criteria Matilda used to hire those people? Yeah. We want these people to come to work. I said, no one will give me the people to come to work here. I don't know those people. I don't know, in our township, 5 people that are here, somebody's bringing them, hire them. It didn't work that way with our organization in Maltopofu. We use our own strategy to hire the people. Also to thank my ward councillor. He was the one who was standing for us. When they said the Matilda received a lot of money from that, whoever was giving her money, tell Matilda to rent the hall for the training. He said, no, Matilda didn't get anything. Matilda is getting paid like these sisters, and she's going to get, Matilda and Mofus, they will get this hall for free. They hired 80 people. Those 80 people, what am I going to do with them if this project can stop? I don't know when they get the project, and I don't care. Try to work that weekend, and they're helping people to stand for themselves. Everyone is coming to my office and wanting to see the WP work. We don't need them anymore. But it's for their best. Let them work for Hlanganisa. And in the police station, we work so much with these people, and very nice things. There is a lady, who's a police there. She's doing our job easy, very easy. We have a problem of social worker in my town. That lady said, Matilda, bring those cases that we're having. Whether they need social worker or to do what, bring them to me. We'll help each other to solve the problem. Yes. In or without a social worker, we'll do it. At the school, we have secondary school and primary school in my place. We work smoothly with those people. They even give us an office at the school. They said you should work here permanently. Bring 3 sisterhood, they'll be sitting here waiting for the cases every day. Anytime when they come to school, they are welcome. They work so nice, and many children were running around in the township, not going to school because of the papers that they don't have, the others they don't have children. The sisters, they took them to go to school. They are attending school as we speak. The principal is giving us a task, Matilda. We have a problem at school. This GBV started at home, and the children are bringing it at school. We don't manage to attend those cases. We are teaching. Our work is to teach, not to attend the cases of GBV. Now, I'm very happy of your sisterhood. And we are many. My 40 of Mafusi, they can do the best. We are taking those cases to the parents at home, we solve the problems. But I wish that you can consider the people from the farms. We are surrounded with many, many farms, more than 200 farms. For us to reach those farms is a bit difficult. If not, the case is for the school. At the school, they give us a transport to go to the farm to attend the case. But now, if it's not the case of the school, it's difficult to get a transport. We need also the sisterhood from the farms. We are only working in the township, is that we forget totally about the farm people. I would like to thank everyone who's here. It's nice to be with you people. I love you so much. Cheta, thank you so much to be so patient with us. Now sometimes I'm angry when I call you are so patient with us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well then.
On that happy note, the moment has finally come. Cheza, please come take the stage to tell us about the awards categories.
Yo, that song is still ringing in my head. Even when you're sleeping, just say, again, I know why. One night I woke up and asked myself, Noah, where's Noah going? But it's always so beautiful when we come together and, you know, music is part of us as Africans, so it's beautiful. So, tonight, as Bongani said, it's the moment that we're waiting for. We've got the moment we're waiting for. And I think it's a significant moment to just recognize the multiple facets of this work. Colleagues have been standing here talking about the work that they do on a day-to-day basis, some of the achievements that we've been able to get as a result of this project. And even though we are calling it an award ceremony, we didn't think about it as a competitive process, that you are the best, you are not, no. I think we wanted to have an opportunity to come together and recognize the whole, all 2,700 sisterhood advocates in this room. And so, see yourself as representing the 80 from your community advice office, the 40, the 100, you know. This is an opportunity for us as you hear about the different categories. Even though there might be an overall winner in the category, it was not a competitive process in our view. We wanted to recognize that there's different aspects of this work. There's a lot of innovation that has gone into how you've implemented the project. As Matilda was here talking about how they've been collaborating with Ubuntu. There's a lot of innovation that has gone. Of course, Hlanganisa had, you know, the project outline that this is how the project will be implemented. But all of you tailored this according to your own context and what works for you. And so we just want to you know, applaud you for the way that you have implemented the project. And let's clap for each other. You know, let's not now. I mean, because our awards, it's an opportunity to recognize our fellow colleagues. Let's clap for each other. You know, if I say, oh, in Pito's organization, if it's Iketeteng, you know, let's clap for Iketeteng. You know, because you've done the best in your organization. We've all played a big part. You heard how Babanesh was talking about, you know, Hlanganisa's administrative excellence. We keep getting good feedback from IDC. You guys are just so amazing. And so that's why, you know, we can't have, you know, otherwise we'd have a pile of certificates there. So I just wanted to give that overview to especially emphasize that this is not a competitive, it's not like summer or I don't know the other words. What are the other words called? This is just a moment for us to recognize the whole. I think I'll stop here.
Thank you, Cheta. So the first set of awards, you know, recognizes all the offices for your patience, for taking the flag for us, Keki. You know, for when people do it, they will cooperate for you, you know, having to attend different CCMA cases on our behalf. So I'm gonna call us that the director or the CEO of the organization, please come and receive the certificate on behalf of your organization. And if your director is not here or they've sent you, please come and take the certificate on behalf. On gender-based violence education and service, because basically that's what all these offices have been doing for specifically for the Social Employment Fund project. So we really want to recognize your hard work and acknowledge your excellence and outstanding work. We are proud to give you this award as a recipient, as a change maker within the community, and express gratitude for your exceptional services. The first CAO, I'm going to ask Zambela Community Advice Office to come and followed by Metsimahulu Community Advice Office, followed by Kwakwati Community Advice Center, so you know what, because I'm taking them in four, so there's a lot of categories. Can I ask that I call all four? Yes. And then the all four, then they take as a group, ne? Kwakwati, and then Tolong. Tolong Advice Office. Thank you. It's all okay. It's about. It's fine. It's all okay. So before you clap hands, can I call all of them? And then we'll clap after, so that we can move faster. I'll call upon Henneman Victim Empowerment Forum. I said no hands until followed by N5 Resource Center. Our colleagues from Ketwana had sent an apology. They've sent anyone from Ketwana, please come through. And then Mafube Victim Support Center. No, let's wait for those to come. Thank you. Palama Youth Club, please come. Tirilejo Victim Empowerment Center. Followed by Sisonke Community Advice Office. Sisonke. Oh, you're coming. Okay. And then when you back my getting it. My own advice office, be ready? Sure. Followed by Good Samaritan organization. Bukamuso. And Batumaya. Bukamuso first. Bukamuso. We can clap. Marquin. La Riva. Matlala. Matlala and Mamadi. Can clap for them. Thank you. Polakwe. Fix there. Fix there. Fix. It sounds like a regular six-pack. Fix pack. Fix pack. There are definitely no six packs in this event. Tusana. 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 Rainbow. This one. Yes. Yeah, you can show now. Sharela. It's okay, Tsui. Stand at one wherever you are. Be ready to stand up. Stand at him. And the Chabile Network Against Domestic Violence.
I did that. We can hear where she comes.
Litabong, Messina, Legal Advice Office, Civile Rutuile, Civile and Opet. Opet, please come on stage. What did you say? Tower, Tshireletso Against Human Abuse, Relimo Advice Office, Iketeteng Advice Center. That one, okay. Thank you, Sheila.
Amanda.
So the next set of awards, so these ones we're giving to the offices, right? So within each office we had what we call site supervisors, who are the ones that are monitoring all the sisterhood advocates. So the next set of awards are going to all the site supervisors. And we have given this award. The name of this award is called Positive Role Model. Positive Role Model. Because you guys, and you are indeed the community positive role models. To assist me to hand over this award, I ask Bavanesh to come and hand over this one. So we'll still do the four at a time, yeah? So you realize that some of the offices, the director was doubling up as a site supervisor as well, yeah? Okay. Mary, Iris, and Matilda. Serssion Lina, evidence, Elisa, baby, where's evidence?
Baby.
Masibu. Marikoni, Marase Morotoli. Who can Marase? You. Don't change it. Transformation. And lastly, Tabisen Tulo. Yes, that's you. Again. Topsy. Mesha Balala. Mme Shabalala. Wako Fixberg. Topsy. Mam Kitty Matuna. I hope we spelled all the names and surnames correctly, né? But if we have not, when we go for dinner, please let us know, né? Then we can fix it for you. Thank you. Ndaule Mohai and Cynthia Silva. Mama Tsabi Mahasela. Satehlana. Anna Mulemi. And Lerato Liba. Anna and Lerato Liba. Anna? We can start for them. Wait. Camera first. Malimela Masoko. Muhamo. Isono. My body is shaking with disbelief. Want me to tell you more? Sorry. Muhamo, yeah. Isono. Umthala zonhlapo. So because there's 6 left, so I'm going to call 3-3. Lerato Moe, Masilon To, and Seshika Chwe. Essential to pursue. Thank you. Tiso. Ambulelo Mafanti. Kate. So the next set of awards. Remember we had all the offices, the community building champions, right? So within that category, there were offices. Please come. So in the Free State Province, because actually the bulk of our partners are in the Free State Province. So in the Free State Province, we have five, or rather we have identified five best performing partners in those provinces. And the first recipient is Mafuwe Victim Support Center. The second recipient in the Free State is Tusanana Paisen. And the third recipient is Bukamuso. And the fourth recipient is Sibile Rukri. Thank you. And then the last recipient in the Free State is Parama Youth Club. So we're done with the Free State. Congratulations to our partner, the Free State. The first partner that's receiving the award is Awrds Advice. And then the second recipient in Limpopo is Matlala.
Yes.
And then we're moving over to the Mpumalanga province. There's only one recipient in Mpumalanga. And the reason for it is because in Mpumalanga we have 3 partners. So the reason why we have 5 in the precinct.
Yes. Take it all. You deserve it.
Thank you. And then the last province is the Northwest province, and there's also one recipient there. We also have 2 partners there. And the recipient of this award is Lichali. So that was it in terms of the best performing, or rather the partners that went an extra mile. And then you do site visits, and then you meet partners, and then suddenly then partners improve because they understand the systems better. So we really want to recognize such partners. And in fact there were a lot of partners that had actually improved as a result. So we have 2 recipients for this award. The team felt once we need 2 recipients which are most deserving. Initially I thought we had 1. But in fact there's 2 who've really, moved heaven and earth to make things happen. The first recipient of this award, which I'm going to ask the site supervisor to come and receive. Site supervisor, please come and receive this award. It goes to Mamadi Advice Center. Phineas, and we have, I think maybe in fact both the director and the site supervisors must come. Can you please come and take the pictures in the front? I'm realizing it now, in fact, that in fact it should both be the, because in fact the directors are supporting the site supervisors actually making things happen. Thank you. And the second recipient of this award, which I'm going to ask both the site supervisor and the director, goes to Kwakwa Community Advice Center. And I'd like to ask our chief just to say a few words, and then after her I'm going to ask Cheta to come and do the closing for us.
What a lovely evening. What a lovely evening. I think, there's a lot of wonderful work happening in our community, but we never get a chance to say thank you and recognize it. And I think for us, the importance of this evening is the recognition. When we first started on this journey, in fact, when the Social Employment Fund was looking for grantees, they themselves recognized that there was work that was already happening, which was not being properly recognized, even by way of salaries. And so, when we applied, we already recognized the incredible work that was happening, but we also wanted to give the additional value of people who are volunteering to receive a stipend. And for me, that's the wonderful thing about the Social Employment Fund. It doesn't say go and start a project. It says who are the people who are already sharing their time for common good in our communities. Let's work with those people. It doesn't say go out and look for new people. Those who are already doing the work, often for close to nothing. And I think this is incredible for me. And I just want to thank the Sisterhood Advocates. They were the pillar of this, they are the pillar of this project. They are the ones who stay up at night listening to people's stories. They are the ones who give up their little wages to escort somebody to a court case. They are the ones who have people come and sleep over at their houses because they are afraid to go home. And I wish to acknowledge the very challenging conditions, circumstances, contexts that we work in. And I really want to acknowledge the Sisterhood Advocates and thank them immensely for making this project such a success. I also want to thank the site supervisors. There's a lot of work happening in our communities, but if it is not properly coordinated, it also is because we also recognize that we don't pay you a lot for doing this work. In fact, we pay you very little, and yet you've given us the site supervisors who are coordinating this program and making it a success. And I keep going back to what Bob said when he recognized Hlanganisa'S administrative capacity. And just to reiterate that, our administrative capacity would fall flat if we didn't have the administrative capacity of the community advice offices that we work with. Because it is you who submit those timesheets. It is you who make sure that those timesheets are compliant, have got the signatures. It is you who check that the work was actually done. It is you that help us comply to our own contractual obligations with the IDC. And I just want to thank the offices immensely for supporting and partnering us on this journey. I want to recognize the stakeholders who work with us in absentia. I know that we had spoken about a stakeholder award. I'm not sure what happened to it. It probably fell off the line, but I think the work that we do is made possible when we have stakeholders who are supportive. I had a colleague earlier speak about how they've been working with the police, in their police station. And that's amazing. I heard somebody talk about SPA and how SPA has supported, some of the work that they are doing. So again, we see partnerships with the private sector. I heard some people talk about, their local Home Affairs Office, DSD, who have been supporting, Department of Justice, who have been supporting this work. And I just want to acknowledge those stakeholders because they are an important and a critical component of the success of this program. Can I go ahead? Can I go on? I would like to acknowledge the IDC as an agent that has been facilitating the rollout and implementation of the Social Employment Fund. When we started, the project was very administratively heavy. And I was actually fascinated when one of the colleagues said, it was difficult in the beginning, it was difficult for even Hlanganisa. And yes, colleagues, it was difficult for us as well. But this project was important for us, enough for us. We saw the value at the beginning, and we took a decision consciously within the organization to nurture it. To nurture it because of the value that we could see in the community. I remember when we first started, when we trained, we were worried about the material, we were worried. But once the number of cases that we see started going up, we were excited. And we gave it our all. So I wish to acknowledge the support from the IDC. We've worked very well with the IDC. They've been a great partner. We really enjoyed the support that they provide to us. I think if I were to stand and have the benefit of having worked with in Hlanganisa with IDC, I would like to say it was difficult even for the IDC. It was difficult even for the IDC, but we've come a long way, colleagues, and I just want to acknowledge that. Like I said, the IDC is an implementing partner on behalf of the Social Employment Fund. We did try to get somebody from the Social Employment Fund itself to be with us tonight and help present these awards. Unfortunately, we couldn't secure anybody, but I just want to thank the people who've been coordinating the Social Employment Fund on behalf of the presidency. I think there's a lot of unpaid care work that happens in our communities. And for government to say, we don't want to go out and employ new people, we want to pay those who are already doing the work. I think that's incredible. For the conceptualization of what they are calling work for common good. So it's not just work that gives individuals a stipend so that they can take care of their families, but it's work that has social benefit for the whole community. So I would like to thank the Social Employment Fund and all the administrators working within that fund, and just commend them for the conceptualization, but also for the foresight of bringing in a credible implementation partner like the IDC. Because we know of a lot of government programs that have fallen flat, that have struggled, because the state doesn't always have the capacity to deliver on these programs efficiently. But the involvement of the IDC has made this very efficient, and I just want to thank Kate, who's been the face of SEF for as long as we've started this journey. So thank you very much to Kate and the team from the Social Employment Fund. Lastly, colleagues, I just want to thank my colleagues at Hlanganisa. We are an organization that values true partnerships. And whenever we talk about our key ethos as an organization, we are very much aware or self-aware of the power that we funders bring into the room sometimes. And when I talk to my colleagues, I always say to them, we are in a partnership with communities. We don't fund communities. We're in a partnership with communities. So when I listen to the testaments today around how respectful, how available, and Hlanganisa has been on this project, I was truly humbled. I was truly humbled because that is who we are. That is our DNA as Hlanganisa. We bring the money, but that's not the most important thing we bring. We bring a partnership. We want to partner you. You are the experts in the work that you're doing. We just happen to be experts in trying to mobilize for those resources. But without you, we would never be able to implement and have an impact in the communities that we work in. So I want to thank my colleagues at Hlanganisa for the incredible work that has gone into the SEF project, for the incredible work that's gone into the Sisterhood Advocates project, but also for the incredible work that's gone into organizing this event. I had a bereavement in the family, so I was away from the weekend. and I only came back last night. At no point was I anxious, because I know what a strong team we have in the organization. And there was a temptation last night to call Chietza and say, how far are we good? There was a temptation to call Prudence and say, what's happening on the comm side? But I thought to myself, you know, the colleagues have been doing this work. And putting together a ceremony is not going to, the work is more difficult than the ceremony. The ceremony is just an event. And I said to myself, I need to trust my colleagues. And I trusted them. And I'm so proud of you guys today. I really am. I'm so proud and very much humbled by the amount of work, the professionalism you put into this. It never runs perfectly because, of course, there will always be hitches here and there. But I think you did an incredible job of putting this all together. I want to give special thanks to the SEF team, because we have a whole social employment fund team that's been working, that is part of this project. And they've been incredible. Maybe let me ask the SEF team to stand up. I know Percy is the only one who has direct funds team, and they've been working tirelessly on this project. And some of them came in without any work experience. Hlanganisa was the first place that they ever went. But I think they've grown. I think they've learned a lot, and we have certainly benefited from your patience. There were long nights, there were long days. I remember when we submitted our first 2 payment files. I left the office around 3 p.m. On that day. And when I came back, what time did you arrive? Because I thought they'd gone to sleep and come back in the morning. And they'd said, we've been here all night. So I wish to thank my colleagues, even those who are not here. Our finance team is not represented here. Tracy and her team, they pulled several all nights on this project. So I'm really indebted to their commitment to the organization and to the cause. And lastly, thank you very much to our poet and our artists. I think she gave a lot of meaning to the day today. And the poems were so beautifully selected, so relevant to the cause. I just want to carpet so that, as Lebo said, we are peacocks today, right? We should have had the opportunity to walk on the red carpet as peacocks. So next time we will remember a red carpet. But thank you very much, colleagues.
For everything that you're doing for the team. I'm not going to thank the team, but I really want to thank the A-team again. I call them the A-team. Our data capturers. So I'm going to ask Homocho to stand with sisters. No? Every week, for the past 4 weeks, for 4 weeks, so we're getting 2,700 timesheets each week, right? And then each of them, they got allocated a district. Some they got 2 districts. Some have got 3 districts, depending how big the district is and the numbers are. So, on a number of occasions, this is what happened, Babanish, and was it Tamon Kusanyana or Fizilita? But we were just about to hit the send button and the system crashed. It was around like 6:30 in the afternoon, early evening, né? And we're like, hey, so what do we do now? Should we continue in the morning? The team said, no, you know what, come on, let's stay. I remember basically saying that we're risking not paying over 500 people at that time. Over 500 young women were not going to be paid because the system has crashed on us. So this is Pindi. So everyone who interacts with Pindi, this is Pindi. Next to Pindi is Khao. Next to Khao is Uipilo. Next to Uipilo is Roresan. And then that is Pacey. You all know Pacey. And then Homojo. And then Scarf. So this is the team. All your concerns, all your problems are taken care of. Yeah, I mean I just administrate, but actually the guys that. Thank you so much, guys. You can take a seat. I'm gonna play a video in the background. The video, you'll see the video in case. Let me not spoil it for you. But dinner will be ready here, no? In this room at 6. What time is it now? Yeah, 12:50. So it's time to network, take pictures. Is the selfie thing still here? Proof? Yeah. And the selfie thing, I know people were looking forward to take the selfie thing. So enjoy the evening and be merry and enjoy. The dinner. When it arrives here, it's a surprise. I don't want to spoil it for you. No, it's dinner. It's dinner. No, there's no shampoo. There's no shampoo. There's no shampoo. No six-pack, no shampoo. Thank you. Enjoy the evening.